Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement that you don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? And how often do you think about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies, doing the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident with your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website or give us a call at 860-430-5397.
Floorcrest Media Group presents a CMG podcast, Keys to the City.
Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know.
Crossed up by Kobe, little floated to Shaq, and then Shaq goes like this, and the rest is history. Pay attention. Don't tell me what to do, devil woman.
But
speaking of those Lakers, but I hold on. But I didn't make my. I didn't make. I said Denver's gonna win. Yeah, you did. You said that.
There's no other show like that. Clovercrest is doing great things right now.
Streaming everywhere.
The Giants are running New York like the Times as Danny is dropping all sorts of dimes. Saquon's thighs are ruining defenses' lives and Leonard Williams making opposing QBs feel him. Receivers think it's scary to line up across James Bradbury, and the Giants have a bright future led by Coach Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Tune in to Drawing About the G-Men every Wednesday at 6, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drawing About the G-Men, the Giants football podcast. I'm Big Jace, joined by Joe Guire, Sean Scanlon, Kingsley, as always. And as always, another disappointing week for the Giants.
Yeah.
What was it? 21-6. Can't even get into the end zone. I mean, it's ridiculous. The Giants are in such shambles. On Facebook groups, people are debating whether Jake Fromm would be better than Daniel Jones. What are we talking about? You're that thirsty for something new? So I get it, but come on, use some common sense. Like
Jace, right? I mean, I think the idea that anybody else would be great is a lazy take on the way things are. You know, again, most quarterbacks would struggle. Somebody earlier today was saying, you know, Russell Wilson might be able to do well with that line. Really? How? He's not nearly as mobile at this point in his career as Daniel Jones is. So I don't know. I'm not sure I buy that either. I still think Daniel Jones is fine, and I think the Giants are stuck with him in his fifth year, and that's about how, or his fourth year, or rather. He's not going anywhere. And it seems by everything I've heard now suggests that Joe Judge ain't going anywhere either. And these two are married at the hip, so that's just, it's going down. And Jake Fromm is welcome to play and do whatever, but it's not going to make a difference. He's a little guy. He doesn't fit in the NFL. He's not.
He's a little guy. Where are you getting your?
Nobody's in. He didn't look like a real quarterback to me at all. That was a cool pass he threw, but that's about it.
I mean, very small sample size. I'll say that. I mean,
Small.
I like
good.
Jake Fromm. Yeah, but I mean the size that's ridiculous. You got guys like Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Drew Brees.
But those guys had skill and talent, and Jake Fromm doesn't. So
he hasn't had an ability to showcase his talent on the NFL stage.
We
starting quarterback at Georgia. I mean, what?
Yeah, one of the best college football divisions out there, and he was able to get to a playoff, I believe, even the championship. With
he went to the championship.
Yeah, they lost the national championship with Jake Fromm. And then literally every NFL team had a chance to draft him, and everybody was like, we're good. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a guy who is being evaluated by anybody at a high level. I mentioned last show, if I'm not mistaken, you got a dozen teams have had to replace their starting quarterback at one point or another this year. Nobody had called that guy. So, I don't know. I mean, I know the Kurt Warner movie's coming out. People are like jazzed up at like, hey, a guy who didn't get drafted and was like working as like an IT guy or whatever he was doing is going to lead the Giants back to a Super Bowl. And no, it's not going to happen. If he wants to throw the ball to Kenny Galladay a little bit more, everybody would love that. Maybe Kadarius Toney plays. He does a thing, you know.
Well, I mean,
3 targets. Saquon gets his 6 rushes, and we go home.
No, I mean,
It's terrible. It's hard to watch.
You said it at the beginning. Like, it doesn't matter who's behind. So it could be Mike Lennon again. It could be Jake Fromm. It could be Joe. You could be behind center, and the outcome will still be the exact same.
Guys, tell me this, too. Does anybody feel like, and I think this is a major issue, and the night that they fired Jason Garrett, I was, like, so confused as to what was going on with that offense? What was the idea behind the offense? Where was the flow to this offense? There wasn't any, and everybody assured me with Freddie Kitchens calling things, it would get better, and it's been
the same.
Again, he's running different plays, and I love that, but you need to run trick plays because you're in a routine, and the team lulls into they think you're going to just do what you've been doing. Then you run a trick play. You can't throw 3 straight incompletions and like you're gonna run a reverse. Like, are you insane? Like, do things that make sense. I'm still not sure what the game plan is. How the Giants think they're gonna win any of these games playing the way that they're playing. It doesn't make sense for me.
No, I mean you're right, but I mean the offense is an issue. It's going to be an issue.
Yeah, it's been for 20 years.
Yeah, and I mean, something needs to get figured out. But I will say defense looked pretty good. I mean, Cowboys known for being an explosive offense, being able to hold them around.
I hate to have to react to everything like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess. You know, could have been worse. It could have been the 38-9 I think I predicted. I said 3 field goals. They couldn't muster that insult I threw their way.
Yeah, but
pathetic.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sean, are you down with Jones in with Fromm at this point?
No. I mean, Jake Fromm definitely looked better than Mike Lennon, but that's not a hard accomplishment to do. Mike Lennon, I don't think he deserves a place in the NFL at this point. I mean, I can't.
He's
watch
killing
that.
me,
After
Sean.
3 weeks, it is tough to watch. That guy is so bad. It's ridiculous.
He's making me look so bad.
I can't even. It's ugly. But I mean, Jake Fromm looked good in that one drive where he came in. I don't think he's the answer instead of Daniel Jones, no. But I think that this could be a good audition for him the last 3 games to see if he can be the backup going forward. Because obviously we know that Daniel Jones has had injury issues. This is the 3rd straight season where he's been out multiple games. So if Jake Fromm can go out there the last 3 games, put up more than 10 points per game on the board, that'd be nice to see. But I mean. It's ugly, but I think he can audition to be the backup going forward. Obviously he knows the offense. He's been here for a couple weeks now, and I think that he can go out and put anywhere north of 14 points per game up. I think that will be a good sign. So, I've seen enough of Mike Glennon at this point. Him and his long neck, he could. How do you? I think he could start. He could start his vacation early.
13 for 24 in NFL 2021. Where like rookies are hitting 68%. How is this clown still like a 51% completion percentage guy? How does he get jobs? I didn't mean to wish this thing into existence last year. I really didn't.
It's all your fault, Joe.
I feel like I got to take the hit on that a little bit. I was joking. Jesus.
Hey, I mean, if you count the interceptions, that's 16 completions for Mike Lennon. So I don't know. It's that's rough.
Dude, but again, I mean, right? What is the offense? Is Saquon Barkley going to get 15 carries? Like, load the guy up now. Like, let's run a real offense. Let's give this guy 30 touches. Got a few games to go. Like, work him out. Is he a bust? Is he worth paying? Use him. Use him. And if he gets hurt again, then there you go. Then he's glass. Get rid of him.
Ride the truck until the brakes fall off. Let's go. I mean,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But look, you're wondering whether to trade this guy, keep this guy. You want to show him some value in the league? Do you want to trade him? I mean, I hear the Giants can get like a 4th-round pick for this guy. That's awful. Keep him then. Are you serious? What are you getting in the 4th round that's better than this guy? But maybe, just maybe, if the last few games of the year he touches the ball 30 times and he puts up 150, 200 yards, gets the ball into the end zone, now maybe you're talking about a 1 or a 2. Otherwise, you're like, hey, you know what? He stayed healthy. He played well. Build around him. But the offense needs to run through somebody. Or it's got to run around, and it can't be run around Mike Glennon. And when Mike Glennon throws the ball 24 times and Booker and Saquon carry the ball 23 times, this is a classic Freddie Kitchens is an idiot moment where who do you think the quarterback is, dude? What are you doing? The Patriots won a game throwing the ball 3 times. Why is Mike Glennon throwing the ball 24 times? Why?
I mean, the depressing takes over.
Dude, they came out firing the other night. They literally came out firing, and I thought, what are you doing? Give the ball to Saquon. Let's get it going. I'd rather watch Saquon run 30 times for 45 yards than watch Mike Glennon make 24 passes.
Well, I think that is what you just said, them coming out firing. I don't get that at all.
That's 1.5 yards per carry.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's like the biggest issue I have with this offense. They come out and try to establish the pass, try and get it going through the air. You come out early in the game when it's close, you have to establish the run to set up the play action. It doesn't make sense because I mean, I get if you in the second half you're down like 3 scores, I get throwing the football, but coming out right out the gate like you're down 35-0 already. Like, what are you doing? It makes no sense. And yeah, I don't know.
All right. Are y'all done with the depressing takes?
Yeah.
Y'all over it? Have we gotten through the depressing takes? Is it over?
Do you have some optimism for us?
Here comes Mr. Optimistic.
I'm not Mr. Optimistic. Obviously, no one in their right mind could be optimistic about this team. But I will say I'm not looking at it the way you guys are. I'm looking at it as the Giants have to figure things out down the stretch, and Jake Fromm may or may not be the answer. I'm not writing him off. He's a 6'2" quarterback, and he's not 5'9", 5'11". He's 6'2", and he can probably play quarterback in this league.
Donald Trump's not 270 pounds, yet a general literally signed a government document stating that as fact.
Okay. He has very quick release. I like what I've seen from him last week, even though it was only 1 drive or whatever it was. Quick release looks great when you have a terrible offensive line, and I think maybe he can make something happen against a team like the Eagles and maybe give us something to watch at the end of the season. I'm more worried about how the Giants go about the process. I think, like Joe said, give Saquon a chance, see what you can do. I'm not ready to trade him. I am one of the people who told you guys he's a bust, he's a bust, he's a bust. But I do see a situation where you could probably bring in another running back, pair him with Saquon, a good running back, and then you could probably bring them both, rotate them in, similar to how the Giants used to do with Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs. And then you can have this different style of running back, one who's fast and one who's a heavy hitter. The Giants could probably figure that out later on, and I think that would work. So I'm not quick to throw that off. And then at the quarterback position, there are multiple options. Obviously, you can draft someone. You don't have to go and get, Kyle Pitts, who's probably going to be going by then. You can go and get Malik Watson. Willis, yeah. You could go and get him in the second round. I think he's a great pickup if you can go and get him in the second round. You can also make the trade for Russell, even though Joe said his years have passed him. I seen it the other night. He doesn't look like the guy who's going to escape the rush that we need. He doesn't look like the Russell who was 25, 28. He looks like an old Russell. He doesn't want to run around anymore. He wants to be in a secure pocket, so he's not a guy I would go after. If I had to go after a guy who's on another team who's not coming out of the draft, there's Deshaun Watson. As much as this is a scary thing to say, if January goes through and he is cleared of his cases, I don't see why the Giants don't bring him in or at least take a chance at that.
2 words, Josh Brown, never going to happen.
I'm just saying.
Aldrich Rojas. I mean,
if
Pro
he's
Bowl
all
kicker's
cleared,
gone.
if he is all cleared of his whatever, I think the Giants have to at least take a flyer on him.
All charges dropped against DeAndre Baker. I mean, the
DeAndre
Giants
Baker,
just
I understand. And DeAndre Baker is not the talent that Deshaun Watson is. DeAndre Baker, if DeAndre Baker was a stud, I think the Giants would try to find a way to bring him back. We're talking about Deshaun Watson. We know what he can do in this league. If you could bring him into your offense, he could possibly fix a lot of the issues we have up front right away, just because who he is. It would probably cost you one of those first round picks to go get him, but then you have another one. You could bring in an offensive lineman, sign offensive lineman. You could restructure Blake Martinez and Bradbury and these other guys, get some more money on the cap and bring in other offensive linemen. But I think you have to take a flyer out on Deshaun Watson if he's available. I just think you do. And the Giants could fix these issues right there because I don't believe in Daniel Jones health-wise.
Yeah, okay. A legit concern. Here's the other thing for me. As far as where the Giants might go for quarterbacks. And look, I like Russell Wilson a lot. I think he's a great quarterback. I feel like this would be the 2005 Yankees getting Randy Johnson. Like, he won 17 games both years he was there, but it didn't feel like he won 17 games. And I don't think Russell Wilson's going to take this team to the next level because I don't think it's good enough. And I also don't understand all these people. The Giants have accumulated all of this draft capital with the idea, and we've been saying it, like full rebuild. Get somebody from outside the building to run this thing. You're going to keep Judge and Jones and Fromm too if you want. And I don't get whatever. Great. Keep them all around. Maybe look at Willis or somebody in the second round. See who falls. They're all great options. But why would you take when again? The Giants' number one problem this year, outside of injuries, is the same problem we said was before last year, before free agency and before the draft. The offensive line has to be better, and you need a real pass rush. We've seen glimpses of both, and they addressed the pass rush issue. You're definitely seeing a couple of guys in Roche and Uzolari who are starting to come into their own. Dexter Lawrence. I know you guys don't love him as much as I do. Leonard Williams. I mean, those guys are. You know what I mean? Like you get Blake Martinez back next year. Again, I think that the Giants defense will be back to what it was supposed to be. That was such a huge drop off. The Giants again will, I assume, address the pass rushing situation so that defense only get better. My thought is though you bring in Russell, it's going to cost you picks, and everybody's like, get rid of the picks, but that's not a rebuild.
No,
that's not a rebuild. Yeah, well, they'll be contenders faster, maybe, but again, what I keep stressing here is I want to see long-term success. I don't want to see Wilson for 2 years and then in year 3 he's god awful, and we have to go through the whole changing of the guard again because that also won't do it for me.
I agree.
I don't want to win a one-off Super Bowl.
Again.
And that's why you go after a guy like Deshaun Watson, who's 28, 26, whatever.
The rest of the offense around him, though, isn't.
It's not. The line, again, we got to stop with the line hasn't been that bad this year. The line has really been a lot better than it has.
The line is not good.
The run blocking is
not good.
The run blocking is terrible, but it hasn't been as bad as it's been over the years. The line has gotten improved. The quarterback hasn't been sacked as much this year. We haven't seen Daniel Jones fumble as much this year because the line has improved. And they have stats to prove that the line has improved this year. I've seen it the other day. I don't want to.
Saquon's best rush was 6 yards.
Again, I can't put it all on Saquon because there's a lot more going on with Saquon than their offensive line. Because there are holes there, and there are times he's just not hitting. You see him bouncing it outside, or he's hesitating, and then the hole disappears. Saquon still has to get back to him. He still has a lot of things going on in his head before he can get back to where he is, where he was physically. He's got to get over that head issue, get over the injuries, get over the fact that it might happen again so he can get back to playing how he's playing. That's always an issue when you have injuries. You're always worried that, hey, if I step like this again, maybe this will happen. Saquon is still playing gingerly. Once he gets over that, he will get back to who he is. But there are times the hole is there and he's not hitting it. Worst line I've seen in years. No, it's not the worst line. The line has definitely improved. The line last year was worse than this year. If you look at the numbers, look how many times Daniel Jones has been under pressure. Look how many times.
Yeah. It's not even just the line, though.
Look how good the run game was last year. Yeah, those 5-game stretch where they hit like 150 yards on the ground. Where is that?
A line. We can talk about a line that's had how many times have we had to shuffle this line this year, especially in the first 4 weeks between injuries and whatnot. We had to shuffle the line, and we didn't have Pert. Then we had to bring
real
in
quick.
guys.
When you say whatnot, you mean ineffectiveness too. Like, I mean, don't blame it all on the injuries because some of these guys have been downright terrible.
Oh yes, I get. Yeah, some of them
line
are
for-
terrible.
I just
but
don't
when
want
you
to
have injuries.
I don't want to
you have
gloss
bring
over
in
that
terrible
part
guys.
of it.
You have to bring in terrible guys like Nate Soldier. We don't want to see him play, but we had injuries early in the season, and he had to switch to the other side, and he had to play. That was the situation that we ran into. The Giant line has been better. It will continue to get better. I think you could bring in guys and it will improve. And you can also get guys in the offseason. I guess it's not that big of a deal. I think if you could bring in, honestly, I think it's more of the right side, not a left side issue to me. I like Andrew Thomas and the other side. I feel like that side is becoming solidified. You can figure out that right side. You can figure out that guard and tackle position and get you a decent center, not even the best in the league. I think you'll have a decent line that Russ could work behind. The issue
that's a lot to do in one offseason, Zay.
It's not at all.
Get 3 new offensive linemen that are actually solid.
Not at all.
Like,
it's not at all when you have 2 first-round picks. It's not at all. It's not that hard at all when you have 2 first-round picks.
But if you're going out and getting Deshaun or you're going out and you're getting Russell Wilson, those picks are gone.
You're giving up.
I believe Deshaun will cost you 1 first-round pick. I don't believe it's going to cost you both. I think it's
they
want
want 3. They're talking about 3 picks.
You're not going to get 3. You're not going to get 3 for a guy who's going to sit otherwise. A guy that's going to sit otherwise, you're not going to get 3 picks for him. You're not going to get 3 first-round picks. He'll sit otherwise. Eventually, they'll give in. But what are you going to do? You're just going to hold him on your roster? Eventually, what are you going to do?
Did it this year.
No one is going to be paid that price. They're going to take the best available price that they can get. As soon as draft comes, they'll take when everything is cleared, they'll take the best available price they can get for him. Because that's
still a big if, though. You don't know if
the longer you wait, the less you're going to get for him. He's only going to get older. And the less he plays, the less productive he could be, the less performance. There's a lot that goes on with that. The longer he's not playing, it's going to be harder to get rid of a player who's not playing long. Look what happened with Le'Veon Bell. He took off 1 year, and his career hasn't been the same since. He hasn't got back on track.
Colin Kaepernick.
He was one of the best running backs in the league before he took that year off, and his career hasn't been the same. So he couldn't find a home at all. So
yeah, but part of that's because
he's trying to box now. Matter of fact, he's not even in the league anymore. So again, the longer you wait on Deshaun Watson, the harder it's going to be to get anything for him. I think when draft comes around, they clear him and pick whatever's available, and I think the Giants have to take a flyer on him. I honestly do. I do.
But if they're 1 and 3 first-round picks, and the Giants can't give them that's not on the Giants not making the move. That's on the Texans.
And no one is going to give them that. You'll probably get a first-round pick this year and maybe next year, but you're not going to get 2 from. It's not going to happen. They know it's not going to happen. Eventually, they're going to have to take something for him.
Well, the thing I have, like Joe said, if you're doing this trade for like a Russell Wilson or a Deshaun Watson, you're not rebuilding. It's another like.
Why are you not rebuilding with Deshaun Watson?
Paint at a wall.
No, I can understand.
Because you're throwing away draft capital when you should be bringing in new young players.
I've never been a fan of the draft situation.
Zay,
I've never been a fan of the draft situation because, again, you could bring in first-round stuff. Look at us. We picked 2 players in the first round who haven't really worked out towards really. Andrew Thomas is finally becoming something. But what has Daniel Jones been? You could go look at Joe makes the point about our picks. What have we done in the last 10 years with these first-round picks?
You're right. That's getting to my other point. Hold on.
Trade them and get a known commodity.
Maybe. Yeah,
this offense is a lot more than a Pro Bowl quarterback away, though, from being successful.
You're right. You have a ton of weapons out there. You're kidding.
That can't stay on the field. None of them are healthy.
But also, the development from the draft picks.
When the team is good, players are all of a sudden healthy. I'm telling you that. All of a sudden, players are healthy. Those hamstring issues start to disappear when their quarterback is good. I'm telling you now.
That's just not true.
I'm telling. Oh my God!
I
look at Odell Beckham. Look how his career ended for the Giants. He faked an injury at the end of the year. He had a
You're telling me guys are
injury.
faking it? All right, what about Leonard
No.
Fournette and Mike Evans, who both just had hamstring injuries? They're not playing because Tom Brady's their quarterback.
No,
That's what you're telling me.
different.
AJ Brown and
Leonard
Julio
Fournette
Jones.
he's always hurt. That's completely
All right.
different.
Listen,
Wide
That's just
receivers
not-
kinda
that's
like
just
that.
an
we're getting
Well,
off the
fan of
rails
injuries start
here.
to go away.
Let's
Well, big
stop.
teams.
No one's fan of enough. No, there's no stop. Just stop that. You're sounding crazy.
Nobody's
I
faking
will
injuries in
say,
the NFL, Zay.
I will say, I get Joe's point of the rebuild. I want to rebuild as well. But
Same.
also, when the development of these draft picks is so bad, maybe maybe giving rid of those picks for a known commodity isn't a terrible idea. So I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I'm still going to give it to the end of the season.
I read a great article.
Hey,
I think it was
I'm agreeing
hold on.
with
I read
you,
an
Zay.
article. I think it was in the Post today where they suggested Mitchell Trubisky as a possible holdover, going for Teddy Bridgewater. And I thought, what kind of idiot sat at their computer today and was like, "Let me dream of backups in the NFL that could start for the like." What is wrong with you? Again, if we're, I mean, do you guys want to continue having these same pissy discussions every week about this team? Because I'll tell you what, you go out and get Russell Wilson, maybe they'll win a Super Bowl in 2 years, but probably they won't. And probably we'll be back to square one in 2 years, and it'll be the same old nonsense. And I don't know about you, I'm tired of it. I just want to see this team build from the ground up with young players who age at the same time, and then you slowly start to replace people. You know, you build long-term success where you're just swapping guys in and out. Again, look at the way the Chiefs do business. Look at some of those other AFC teams, dude. They swap guys in and out like nobody's business.
And
It's sustainable.
What state
You
are they
just
in,
have
Joe?
to do it.
What state is the Chiefs in? They're in Kansas City. I'm gonna tell you now, in New York, that's not gonna fly. And I'm gonna tell you now, y'all are in Connecticut. And New Yorkers, and I listen to the radio every day. No one wants a 5-year, 3-year rebuild. They want it now. And that's the biggest issue with New York sports. It always
Doesn't
has
work.
been. It always has been. And that's
It
We've been
doesn't
trying
work.
that
And
for the past
honestly,
5 years.
nobody
You
cares what the
listen to
fans want.
outcry. They'll listen to that
Nobody
type
cares.
of outcry. They won't listen to other outcries like large Pepsis and nothing like that. But they will listen to
Medium
the fact
Pepsi.
the only medium Pepsis, yeah. But they will listen to Giants fans complaining and not wanting a rebuild. And they will try to fix it as fast as they can.
Well, if that's what they're listening to, that's why they've been garbage the past forever. You went with a QB on a rookie deal and a stack team members. Yeah. Maybe.
Again, you got all this draft capital, dude. Either Jones is the guy or he's not. If he's not, maybe it's Pickett, maybe it's Willis, maybe it's somebody, maybe it's Jacob Fromm, whoever. But to get all that draft capital and to give it all up for known commodities, Jace, let me tell you a story about when I fleeced you last year in that unbelievable fantasy deal. We invited Jason to our fantasy league. I sent him all the draft pick collateral I had been assembling, and I went for the quick fix. Yeah. Derrick Henry. Yeah, great move. Great move. Dalvin Cook. Oh, yeah.
Dalvin, not Derrick.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. All these known commodities in and out of the lineup all year. Okay? Known commodities who have always gotten hurt. Like we knew Kenny Golladay was an injury guy. When Sterling Shepard's out for the season, was anybody like, no, shocker? Of course not. It was just a matter of time before he was done, making all that money that Zay points out. Too much money to not play and to be such an unproductive player. Get rid of that guy.
It works out how it is. Matthew Stafford hasn't been hurt. You got rid of picks for him. He hasn't been hurt all year. He's been there all year. One of the toughest guys in the league.
But I mean,
it's about who you trade that for. I'm sorry.
That's also the thing. Like, look at Matthew Stafford. They built everything around him, and then you can bring in a quarterback like this. You need to build that foundation first. Like what
Julio
you were saying.
Jones. It's another one I got. Julio. Been out almost all year.
You got Deshaun Watson and Dalvin Cook from me.
That was someone else I fleeced. I really, but again, I sold off. I had all 1s and 2s, a ton of them. And I flipped them. I was like, dude, by the way, so everybody knows, I'm not proud. I'm 6-8. It's not going well. All these known commodities. My team on paper, dude. Really, Jace, tell them. There was a moment they wanted to rescind the deal. We were gonna vote on it. People were pissed. Is that this isn't fair? Joe's just gonna win the Super Bowl. That's how it was going. And they insisted. I'm 6-8.
What are you picking?
Jace, what's your record? I think you're ahead of me.
You traded for guys who are always hurt, though. You didn't trade for guys.
Right, known commodities.
Yeah.
No. See, stop that.
Derrick Henry?
No. And just a hypothetical.
Alvin Cook?
It will never happen. It will never happen. It's a hypothetical. But if the Giants right now, the Dallas call right now said, Giants, for first round pick, we'll give you CD Lamb. You wouldn't take that?
No.
Who's throwing to him?
I don't care who's throwing to him yet. We'll get to that.
Also, no. Why don't? I mean, we already have 10 wide receivers on this team.
Yeah.
Offer me. Hold on. Offer me Quentin Nelson. I'll give the Colts a number 1 pick for that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
1 pick straight up.
No commodity, though.
I'll take the All-Pro in. Of course.
It's still a no commodity. It's still proving a point. You can still trade a pick for a known commodity, and it can fix your issues real fast. It can fix it real fast for you.
But the Giants aren't just quarterback away.
Yes. I don't think Russell Wilson. I don't think Aaron Rodgers. I don't think anybody's. I don't think anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. If you can't if you can't run the football,
bro,
right? You can't. That's the problem. We can't get the ball to receivers because we can't run the football. Your line needs to be good. You get a good line, then it doesn't really matter who's back there. I think with a good O-line, I think Daniel Jones is more than suffice. And I think again a healthy Saquon. So test drive this guy. Let's see what's going on here. Let Jacob Fromm throw the ball down the field to Galladay. Run your gadget plays to Kadarius Toney. You've got 4 games. Do it. Just start doing stuff. I don't understand. Again, they want to punt on 4th and 1. Like, come on. What do you care?
No.
Season's over. Just play to win. Have some fun out there, but show off the talent. Use the young guys. Figure out what's what. Like I hate watching these guys play because it's like I don't even know what we're doing. I love watching the Giants, but I'm like I get more enjoyment watching the other team's offense run against the defense. When the Giants have the ball, I just assume it's either going to be a short running play or a sack.
Or an incompletion. Most likely an incompletion. I'd take an incompletion over the sack. But I get what you're saying. Regardless, it's not a QB away. Yeah, and I think you need to rather use those draft picks.
Okay.
Build a foundation before you can bring in a QB. Because
of course he would, Sanders. That's why I said it's a hypothetical. We were just throwing something out there. No one was putting that in a real situation. I'm just saying the Giants were in need for a wide receiver, and they called us and said, "Yo, you want CD Lamb? Give us your first round pick. Would you take him?" I think we all would at that moment. If the Giants needed a receiver, I think you would, and that's what I'm saying about known commodities. I think that's how it works. Get people you know who are going to be there when you trade for them. Don't just get people. Get people who are going to be reliable. I hate to say it. Don't go and get Antonio Brown because you know he's not going to be reliable. Get someone you know is going to be there. That's all I'm saying with those. Get you a staff.
Also, thanks to everybody who's commented. I appreciate everybody's backing up what I'm saying.
Regardless.
If the Giants get Watson and turn it around next year, and we're sitting here and the Giants are like 5-0, I'm like, see, I told you guys it was just Watson. Look what happened to the Texans. The Texans were a playoff team. They lose a quarterback, and now they're terrible. That's
in your dream scenario, who did John Mara sell the team to? Woody Allen?
No. All right. We can have all these conversations. We'll continue to have all these conversations throughout the offseason. Because right now, you can't trade for no one. You can't trade for anyone. We'll be able to during the offseason. So we'll talk about that then. Let's get back to the now. Week 16, go into the link to take on the Eagles. Hey, that was the Giants' last win, right? Against the Eagles?
Yes. Also, it's where they've had some of the worst games in franchise history.
Yeah, the link has not been good to the Giants.
No.
Not at all. We'll Victor Cruz.
I think the Giants score 13 points in this one and lose 38-13.
You're drunk.
13, that's a lot, Joe. For this
38?
Giants offense.
38-13? You're dragging it.
They block a punt and they run it back.
You think the Eagles are going to score 38 points? The line
Yeah, I don't
over
think
They couldn't even get in the end zone last time. They're going to score 38 points? Dallas, who has probably the best offense in the NFC East, couldn't score 21. The Eagles
I'll bet you Jalen Hurts throws for 300 yards again.
He gets over 300 yards. It ain't going to be no damn 38 points. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. It ain't going to be for no 38 points. I promise you that. This will be.
All right. 26-12.
No.
That makes a lot more sense.
27-6.
24-21 Giants. Graham Gano wins it on a kick at the end. Jake Fromm surprises everyone.
I'll give you a 12-10 game.
No one
give you a
expects
12-10
nothing.
game.
He doesn't have to. Jake Fromm doesn't have to get in the end zone 3 times in order for that to happen. The defense could score 2 touchdowns for all I know. All I'm saying, 24-21. Jake Fromm surprises us.
Let the controversy begin.
I love that, Zay, but even if the defense gets in the end zone, I can't see the Giants getting in the end zone at all 3 times. I hate to say it, but I just can't see that happening. Because that's what the Giants are.
You've done it.
I'm just thinking about how often the Giants never score defensive touchdowns. I'm trying to think of the last time the Giants had a pick 6. Then I'm trying to think when's the last time the Giants
did this year.
When's the last time the Giants
just did it the other day?
Slow down, Sonny. I'm not done. When's the last time the Giants had 2 pick 6s in one game? And better than that, Zay, when's the last time they had 3 pick 6s in a game, or any combination of 2 pick 6s and a fumble that they brought back to the house? When has that ever happened? So Jake Fromm's probably going to lead them to 6 points.
I wouldn't go that far.
I think that's a reasonable assumption. Let's say the defense scores a touchdown. The best the Giants will do is 13 points.
We'll see.
All right.
I'm feeling 16. I'm feeling crazy right now.
I'm feeling crazy. 16, 24-21. I said it. 24-21.
Maybe Saquon breaks like a 50-yarder, and then they kick a late field goal in the fourth quarter.
You say one day he's going to wake up and he's going to have one of them Saquon games. He's going to surprise us one day. He's going to wake up and he's going to have one of them Saquon games.
Oh my God! When Booker took off on that 30-yarder, I jumped out of my seat because I thought it was Saquon for a second.
I thought it was
broadcast said Saquon too.
They said
it's all right. Yeah, I was like, no, wait. I go, man, I got all excited. I was like, yeah, Saquon. My wife was like, Quan. And then I saw it was Booker, and I was like, ew. But again, like I said earlier, his longest rush was 6 yards, 15 carries, 50 yards. His longest carry 6. This is a problem.
He had a sick catch, though.
Yeah, the catch was great. Again, look, to me, he looks fine when he's moving. I can't imagine. Saquon just can't hit a hole anymore. Doesn't understand how to follow blocks. I don't think so.
I have a question.
It's hesitancy. It's a lot going on. This is injuries. You've never had a sport injury, and I'm telling you, this is coming back. I tore my Achilles a few years back. Getting back on that football field is not easy. You think about it in the back of your head. You think about it for a very long time before you start ever just trusting your body and running.
He definitely looks hesitant hitting the hole. It's been that way for a couple of years. Ever since he sprained his ankle a couple of years ago, he just hasn't looked the same. He hasn't had that same explosiveness.
All these guys, the Saquons, the Christian McCaffreys, even Alvin Kamara, not to the same extreme. All these all around running backs, they have a pretty lengthy injury history. Does that say something about a pass catcher coming out of the backfield? No. I've always
believed the injuries because of the field. I've always in belief of that. I don't like turf fields. I've always said that they're the cause of these injuries. If they went to all natural grass fields, we wouldn't have these injuries. Again, personal experience. played 25 years on grass, and then I played on turf 1 year and tore my Achilles. Never had that happen before in my life. Never had an injury, so I've always blamed it on turf fields. I feel they're just not good for the sport. You see it. Look at Baltimore Ravens. They lost how many players this year that weren't even just running backs, just off of soft injuries, soft tissue injuries. It's the turf fields. There's no give on them. These players are very strong. They're stepping down with all that force on these fields, and there's no give on it, and it's hurting their bodies internally. You're getting these soft tissue injuries, and that's where it's coming from. You don't get that on grass. Grass has give. It sinks. That's just I don't think it's the players. I hate to put it on them.
All right.
I don't disagree with that.
Maybe. But all right. But I think we've talked enough Giants. I mean, we've definitely talked maybe a little bit too much Giants because it's hard talking Giants.
No such thing.
It's our therapy. They're coming for therapy.
Yeah.
Giants Anonymous.
Yeah, Giants Anonymous. And I mean,
should change the name of the podcast. Just all wear bags over our heads too.
I mean, I'm close to being at that point, to be honest with you. But you guys, you're not wrong. You're not.
You know, it's funny. We do our Sunday morning pregame show at 10, and I obviously always try to squeeze the Giants in where it makes sense, and because it really doesn't. Like no Giants game is relevant to anything that's happening in the NFL right now, and that sucks. Yeah. I think that's the worst part of this is to know that, you know, if you're watching the national football shows, they're spending like no time on the Giants at all, other than to talk about Dave Gettleman's either going to get fired or retired when the season's over. That's pretty much where we're at right now.
No, yeah, and if you look at like the intro to like the big shows, they got like Tom Brady throwing 5 touchdowns. You got Aaron Rodgers doing it. You got all these other teams. There's no Giants highlights. Maybe a team is scoring on the Giants.
Yeah. Say they're scoring on the Giants. It is.
Yeah. So it sucks. It sucks. And I mean, we've talked about the show before. Joe Judge is on the hot seat, but maybe there could be some other coaches on the hot seat, and we'll get to that right after this break. So stay tuned.
So Jess, why did you become a realtor?
I worked in various customer service jobs, so I wanted something a little bit more rewarding. Becoming a real estate agent, being able to help people find their forever homes or their investment homes, starter homes. It's very exciting, so a lot of fun.
Now, you've gotten off to a really good start in your real estate career. What has been the most rewarding part of this for you so far?
Helping people, especially like first-time home buyers, finding their first home. They're so excited. I'm so excited to help them. So it's a nice, rewarding part.
What is it that you think makes you different than other real estate agents?
I think that my various roles in customer service has helped me. So I like to ask a lot of questions and I want to know what I'm doing. So I think that helps a lot because I'm not going to steer people the wrong way. I'm going to make sure they have knowledgeable decisions and help them find the right home.
Last thing I'm going to ask you is, and I know these are words that you live by, but the mantra at CTBB Realty is?
People over paychecks, do the damn thing.
And that's what we do.
Big shout out to Jeff Rydell and CTBB Realty for sponsoring today's episode. If you're in the housing market in Connecticut, make sure you check them out. And now, let's talk about it. I mean, which coaches are on the hot seat? I mean, we know Joe Judge is, even though things are seeming like he's going to come back next year. And this actually has a pretty big importance to the Giants because, I mean, who knows? One of these coaches is probably going to be the OC next year for the Giants. So one of the coaches that gets fired. But Joe, I know I brought up this topic because we had a pretty lengthy conversation in our Facebook group chat. How you think John Harbaugh should lose his job after the past couple of weeks?
All right, let me not be misquoted here. Let's be clear what I said. because this is super important. Okay,
He's gonna
I
clear it up.
don't understand why some people get a pass on things and some people don't. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why Justin Herbert never gets pinned for any of that team's losses. I don't get it. I'm sorry. He certainly isn't playing well enough that that team should be better than they are record-wise. So give me more. You know what I mean? I just Mike McCarthy was 7-1, and Sports Talk Radio was talking about how he was the biggest detriment to that team because his play calling was terrible. John Harbaugh, twice in a 3-week span, blew it. He's 8-6. They should be 10-4. They should be the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're not. If Mike
no
McCarthy,
guarantee.
hold up. If Mike McCarthy did that once, Jerry Jones would fire him on the sideline as it was happening. Before the ball went through the end zone, he'd have been like, "You're gone." I promise you, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but dude. The argument the day after was they blamed everybody else on the Ravens for that. They blamed everybody else on the Ravens for that. And then today the argument was whether it was okay to criticize John Harbaugh because all the injuries, this is a throwaway season. And I'm thinking, what are you, a throwaway season? This team was the number 1 seed a couple of weeks ago. His stupid decisions cost them that. Any other, you'd be like, dude, that guy would be fired in a heartbeat, but he's a Harbaugh. He's a Harbaugh. He gets a free pass. His brother Jim was 0-5 against Ohio State. Rich Rodriguez was 0-3. He got fired. Why didn't he get 5 shots? Lloyd Carr's regular season record was 141-20. His crime, 6-7 against Ohio State. Fired. Despite all that success, Jim Harbaugh's done a halfway decent job, and he gets a gigantic extension. What is the fascination with the Harbaughs?
Where's Jim Harbaugh now?
People. Get over it. Oh, my God. I'm just saying, listen, treat everybody the same. You can't make excuses. You can't, listen, here's the other thing. I've heard people tell me, look, Zach Wilson's a bust. You can't judge Justin Fields though. What? How could you properly one guy but not the other? I mean, again, are you evaluating what he did in college? That was years ago. Stop it. Like, we got to get with the times. My favorite example of what I'm saying is this young fella wearing a Tom Brady jersey. He looked me dead square in the eyes. This was a couple years ago before Tua got hurt. Bama was going when they were getting ready to go for the championship. This Brady wearing clown looked at me and he goes, Tua's overrated. Oh, I go, why do you say that? He goes, it's the best quarterback with the best coach on the best team. It makes him overrated. I said, oh, you think Tom Brady's overrated? No. Tom Brady's the GOAT. I said, you just said the best quarterback on the best team with the best coach is overrated. So that applies to Tom Brady, yes? By your own logic, the words that came out of your mouth, that's what you said. So again, I ask you, why do some guys get passes, some guys don't?
That's a little different. You got to understand, in Brady and Belichick's defense, those two kind of made each other in a sense. Not that Belichick wasn't already a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator for the Giants, 2 Super Bowls. But Belichick's head coaching career really took, its boom when he was with Brady. He didn't really do that well in Cleveland. Then when he went to New England, they didn't want to keep him in the beginning. And then they got Brady, and somehow they went on this miraculous run and created this dynasty. So that's a little different than Tua coming to Alabama, which we always know Alabama to be the best team no matter what every year. We always assume Alabama's the best team no matter what. So Tua getting put in that position, what he's trying to say is you basically could put anybody in Alabama and they could be a functional quarterback. And that's what he's trying to say about Tua being overrated, because Alabama is Alabama. That's how they've been perceived across college football, that they are the greatest thing since sliced bread. So that's, I guess, what the kid is trying to say. In terms of Brady and Belichick, Brady didn't start off as the best quarterback, and Belichick didn't start off as the best coach when they got together. Nick Saban was already the best coach. Alabama was already the best team in college football probably when came, and that's what he's trying to get at. So I think
let's get back to this.
It's an absolute stretch. I love it.
Let's get back to this. Let's get back to the.
I'm just saying,
because I get what you're saying there, Zay. But as far as Harbaugh goes, I think. I mean, you and I talked. I mean, I mentioned the injuries. I mentioned how Dallas. Everyone's got their eye on Dallas because they're America's team. But also, I mean, look at it. Also has to go with the organization. I mean, Harbaugh's been there with the Ravens. He brought them a Super Bowl, so he's buddy with the GM and the owner and that stuff. So I mean, he can get these slides. A guy like McCarthy, who's in there.
Look at the bottom here. See the little scroller right now? 137 wins, 85 losses. It's a 617 winning percentage, 11-8 in the postseason. Career record 148-93. The other coach we're talking about, 141-91-2, 10-8 in the postseason, 151-99-2 in his career. Both guys have won a Super Bowl.
One of them had Aaron Rodgers. One of them had Joe Flacco.
Yeah, but I mean, Ray Lewis was on that team. Like, I mean, Ed Reed. You can make
Clay Matthews, Charles Woodson.
No, you're right, but no. The actual answer to your question, Joe, is Harbaugh has this
same guys, same numbers, same results, same results.
That's why,
plain and simple, same results. John Harbaugh gets you nothing more than Mike McCarthy gets. Take a look at the numbers. You get nothing more. You have as many Super Bowl wins. You have as many regular season wins. You have as many postseason wins. Same guy. One guy gets criticized all the time. The other guy skates free on everything. I'm sorry, that doesn't sit with me. I don't like it.
There's a reason Mike McCarthy's not in Green Bay anymore. And there's a reason Harbaugh's
you don't be the coach of America's team if you don't want the criticism. You're going to be on the hot seat every week. You picked that team for a reason. That team always under fire.
Fine, but if you're going to criticize, be consistent. You got to criticize everybody. John Harbaugh made I mean, dude, I can't think of the last time a coach single-handedly lost 2 NFL games to a team in the thick of a postseason. Dude, this is like the run to get to the postseason. Can you imagine any other coach doing that?
It's hindsight.
Holy crap, you'd be fired in a heartbeat. Come on.
If they catch that ball against the Steelers and they win that game, we're not talking about him being fired. It goes either way. You can't really put that on him. That was a very catchable ball. We're not talking about a terrible play.
3 weeks ago, when Lamar threw that ball to Andrews 3 weeks ago, I mean, Andrews got to catch that ball. You got to catch that football. I get it. Now, that night, you're a Ravens fan, and I would have been like, Zay, listen, we're going to do this again in 3 weeks. Only Lamar's not going to be the quarterback. What would you say to him that night? You would have punched him in the face for saying that.
In his defense, what he's going into it, I kind of agree with him. I don't think you're beating Aaron Rodgers in overtime. I think if you have
the greatest kicker in history,
you have to beat
you got
him.
a guy that can bang one from 65 yards out.
No, we're talking about
get me to the 45 and I'll send us home.
We're not going to make it seem like that. Those weren't bad. You want to talk about bad plays? Bad plays. Bad coaching plays are in the Super Bowl on first down when you throw it instead of running it three downs from the freaking 5-yard line. That's bad coaching. Don't blame that a guy taking a risk at the end of the game, doesn't have all his weapons, and wants to get away with
a stupid, unnecessary risk that cost his team
if they
2 games and a tiebreaker. So now it really cost him 3 games. There's 3 games back now.
Belichick did the same thing on a 4th down where he ended up blowing it, and everyone ripped him to shreds, and then they went on to win the Super Bowl and things were all peachy and gravy. It's all about if it goes through or not. You can't really blame him on that.
But it failed both times.
Bad coaching is Pete Carroll. It's not Jim Harbaugh.
Winners don't fail twice in 3 weeks like that.
Come on.
Super Bowl winners don't. That doesn't happen. The Ravens are done.
I don't think they're done.
This cost the Ravens. This cost the Ravens so bad, dude. It's unbelievable. And how that guy's skating. He's a genius that they're 8-6. No, he's an idiot because they're 8-6. They would be 10-4 if he would have kicked it.
You can't say they would be 10-4. You don't know that.
I do.
10-4.
In my heart, I do.
They kick that, and then they go into
overtime.
They could have beat. They could have beat the Steelers in overtime.
Why do you guys love John Harbaugh so much? Can I just ask? Why do you want to have his children? I'm confused. Why can't we? Why hold on? Why can't we say bad stuff about John Harbaugh? Did I not get a memo about something? What?
No.
I think he deserves criticism, but you can't say they would be 10-4 when you don't know that.
It's more likely they would be 10-4 than their current 8-6.
Maybe. There's also a 50% chance you never touch the ball in overtime. You have a backup quarterback going against one of the best teams in the league against the Packers, and you might as well just try and win it right there. And
bro, you win the toss, you get to the 45-yard line, he wins the game, and you go home.
If you win the toss, it's all if. If you get the extra point,
that's gambling. That should have been the gamble. Should have been a coin flip.
You come on, bro. It's all. No, I can't do that. Because if he converted them, we went.
No, I was with you, and then that just. I mean, I was kind of understanding.
Maybe an onside kick if you lose the toss.
Who is winning that division? Who in that division is so dominating that you can see them winning that division?
Nobody, which is why you should have played conservative and win the game.
It makes sense with the rest of the division. He had an opportunity to
give everybody a chance to catch up. Genius plan. I like that.
No,
smart.
That's what the division goes. I mean,
we can have a 3-game lead.
We can have a
3-game lead or fall into a tie.
In the beginning of the season, the Bengals had a strong lead. They let everyone else come up. Then the Ravens start to pull away.
I guess I'm wrong.
Everyone else
I'm wrong. I guess it was really smart of John Harbaugh to lose 2 games in the middle of that. No, you're right. Genius move. Forget it. Never mind. Moving on.
My thing is with this.
All hail King Harbaugh.
We're not saying
it's not about Harbaugh. If anything, it's more about the front office of the Ravens. They understand. Can't lose football games.
Coaches can't lose football games.
That's not.
That's like the caddy putting his foot in front of the hole when you're like about to hit a hole in one. You would get rid of that guy. You wouldn't be like, oh, hey, he was just trying to nudge it in. I guess he screwed it up.
I agree that he deserves criticism, but that's not a fireable offense.
Yeah.
It would be if it wasn't him. It would be, I promise you, if it was Mike McCarthy that had done that with his backup quarterback.
Mike McCarthy
2 weeks
would not
after
have been
blowing
fired
it,
that happened.
2 weeks after having already done it once with the backup quarterback, same play to the same guy who didn't catch it again. Genius plan. Oh yeah, I'm sure Jerry would have ran over and high-fived Mike McCarthy for doing that. No,
but if you're gonna compare,
you cost your team precious wins in a season where wins matter so much this year because no one separated themselves from the pack. You literally went from being the number 1 seed to being around 5 or 6. What are you doing?
No, you're right. But if you're going to compare it to Mike McCarthy, you also have to look. Mike McCarthy, if it were Green Bay, he probably would have gotten a side like that because he brought them a Super Bowl. Now he's in Dallas. He's in a whole new situation. So, yeah, he's going to get the criticism from there because they don't really necessarily – he's still new. Harbaugh, everyone loves Harbaugh in Baltimore, brought him a Super Bowl. Yeah, they'll let it slide. Maybe this is the descent. Maybe this is where he starts declining.
Let me just take a cheap shot at the Cowboy fans then. You know, they fell in love with Tony Romo's numbers for so many years and excused not winning like that it meant something. He throws for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, number 9, Jessica Simpson.
The passer rating, though.
I mean, what? Again, dude, I've literally talked to Cowboys fans, and I'm like, would you rather have Tony Romo and that career or Eli in the Super Bowls? They're like, Romo. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. Sorry. You would rather not take 2 Super Bowl wins? Like, where's your priorities, fellows?
Fellows. I like the way you said that. Joe.
Gentlemen.
Is there anyone besides John Harbaugh who is on the hot seat for you, Joe?
I think Ron Rivera's got some splaining to do.
Ron Rivera?
Yeah, from the Washington football team.
I'm not mad at that.
I mean, that defense is historically awful. and now that's depleted with injury. I mean, what a disaster. I mean, that was a team we were talking about might win the division. Maybe them, maybe Dallas, maybe the Giants. Ha ha ha! Definitely not the Eagles. Remember all that? And here we are, dude. Washington's been terrible. That's a terrible football team. Ron Rivera's done a terrible job. Somehow had one of the best defenses in football, and has somehow got them ranked in the upper 25 percentile. That's a guy that should be on the hot seat. What a clown.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you what, he should have called Cam Newton in September. That was his biggest mistake.
Again,
no. Have you watched Cam Newton the past couple weeks?
Dude, you know what? His heart's not into playing in Carolina. It's just not. He's hurt. He was rejected there. This ain't LeBron, dude. Excuses. This ain't LeBron coming home to Cleveland. You know what I mean? This is yeah. I think he feels slighted. I think that's why he's playing like that. Heart's not in the game. See it in his eyes.
Sean, who's on your hot seat?
Matt Nagy's got to be fired by the Bears. I think that's the easy one, but he had that one great year when the Bears defense was awesome. His first year when they went 12-4, and then ever since then, he's just been hurting that team. So he's got to go. I think it's the two NFC North coaches, him and Mike Zimmer. I think has an interesting case too because that team is so talented on offense. He's known as a defensive-minded coach, and yet they can't win in these one-score games. They're 7-7 right now, and for the talent that they have on that team, they should be a lot better. And, the Vikings, as long as Mike Zimmer's been there, they've had all these talented teams, and they just haven't been able to advance to the playoffs. So I think at some point you gotta cut ties with him. So I think those two NFC North coaches definitely got to go.
Dude, I can see Nagy being the next OC for the Giants, and
please, Jace, please don't put that upon us. It's gonna be Mike Glennon all over again.
It is, and I don't want it to happen.
Don't.
See it happening.
Joe already put us in this predicament. Don't do this.
All right, Zay, who's on your hot seat?
I agree with Sean with the Matt Nagy, but it's Pete Carroll. Like I mentioned earlier, it's time for him to go. He's been holding Seattle down for the last few years. They haven't been Seattle since their Legion of Boom years. He should have been gone after that call against the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I think I would have fired him on the spot. I would have ran down to the field and fired him after he threw that ball instead of running it 4 times with Marshawn Lynch. I literally would have preferred him running 4 times with Marshawn Lynch and get stuffed than to throw it on first down and get intercepted after a miracle play. So for me, I think it's time for Pete Carroll to go. The offense hasn't looked great. They haven't fixed that offensive line. They've been telling them to fix it for years. They haven't fixed it, so you've seen what it's done to Russ. And Russ isn't the same quarterback. Russ needs someone who he can trust back there that's going to help him put a team around him that's going to give him his last few years. That's, not going to be a struggle like it has been for these years, the let Russ cook situation. So I think Pete Carroll has to go. They have to bring in somebody who's going to rebuild that offensive line, rebuild that defense. It's not the Legion of Boom no more. It hasn't been for a very long time. And I think, you have some studs over there with, whatchamacallit from the Jets. Oh, my God, what is his name? Safety from the Jets. He got hurt this year and not even playing. But you have him there. So I guess you can build around him and then go from there. But you have to bring in somebody to fix their team. Definitely can't remember his name right now. That's crazy.
Jamal Adams.
There we go. Jamal Adams. Yeah, he's been out for so long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys took mine. Pete Carroll, Mike Zimmer were the 2 names I had. Another name I'm going to throw out there, Zach Taylor. Because, we've seen glimpses of Cincinnati do really good things. And, he is right now he's got the most losses out of any head coach and starting. He's in the league right now. So that's big. I know he had those rough years he had those rough years before Joe Burrow. Now he's got Joe Burrow, and they've looked good, but you need something new. Joe Brady. Bring in Joe Brady. Reunite. You already did that cuteness with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Bring in Joe Brady. Get a whole big reunion of that LSU team. Have him be the offensive mind. And, yeah, that's what.
I just saw this, and it made me want Joe Judge fired immediately. I just thought to myself, why is this guy such a tool? I mean, you can't even get that right. You honestly, dude, really?
Trust in his
Couldn't
team.
get that part right. He's a guy we want to move forward with. Did Joe Judge write his own wedding vows? Yeah, I'll go with this lady. Like, dude, come on. What? That's your endorsement for Daniel Jones? Yeah, he's a guy we want to move forward with. Idiot. I mean, what? I can't even with this guy. Sorry.
Wait, before we go forward, you made a bash at Ron Rivera. For the record, Gilbert, or whatever else, he had no business in there playing yesterday. It was wrong for him to even be in there. They should have just, I don't know, pushed the game back or rescheduled it. It's terrible that they did that to the kid, but they should still be one game up.
Let me ask you guys a question, right? We do a college football show here. Like 100 quarterbacks graduate from college every year with hopes of going to the pro. And there's guys in Canada and there's NFL like backups that eventually don't ever get a shot. Where are all of these people? I feel like there's so many quarterbacks. Where's all the guys from the XFL? Why are they running all this garbage out on NFL fields all over? I don't understand that.
There's not that many good quarterbacks out there.
Dude, that kid that was playing for the New York Knights or the Donkeys or whatever they were. The Guardians or whatever it was. Mike Garcia was his name? What is that guy up to? Somebody call him. He was pretty good. Who was the other dude? Like who was the old Texas quarterback?
The
no, not that guy.
No, what's his name?
Landry
Jones.
Landry Jones, dude. Like, I mean, Landry Jones was like lighting up the XFL.
State, right?
I'm just saying, compared to what you are running out there now, Gilbert Grape and Mike Glennon and some of these guys. Are you kidding me? For the love of God. Somebody like
that.
Where's Davis Webb or Kyle Valletta? Guys that are like
no, yeah, look at the NBA. NBA did with this COVID stuff. They're bringing in Joe Johnson and Isaiah Thomas and that.
Can they fix
That's a lot different than being a quarterback in the NFL. There's only like 15 good quarterbacks in the U.S. Like
to be
good
an NFL quarterback's a lot harder than to pick up somebody who pick up basketball.
You're not going to have one of the 15.
Like the XFL, PJ Walker was like by far away the MVP of that league, and now he's on the Panthers, and now he's terrible.
Brian Lewerke's been in the Giants practice squad and around this team all year. Lewerke, the Michigan State guy that played in the preseason. Anything. But he knows the offense. He's been around it. Why wouldn't you run that
Good
guy?
For him.
Jake Fromm. It's like, hey, remember that old Georgia quarterback that's working at like CVS? See if that guy wants to play. What?
I hope he goes up
there. Dude, I'm like,
I hope he goes up there and lights it up for you.
Of all the quarterbacks we've seen the last few years at all these SEC schools, somebody was like, hey, remember Jake Fromm? Call that guy. Guaranteed wins. No, like
he was on the Bills. He was playing. He was in the league. He was the backup on the Bills. Stop doing this to the guy.
Listen. Okay. I read an interview with his family, Zay, and his family says he's under 6 foot, that's been a problem his whole life. His dad literally said it's a shame that Jake's got such a bad arm because he really wants to be in the NFL. He wishes he could make the throws, but he can't. So he's working at like Sears. And then the Giants were like, hey, be the starter. And the Giants fans were like, this guy will be the next Kurt Warner. We're all set here. Like, no, nothing about this. What are you people talking about?
Sometimes you got to take a shot. Sometimes. But, all right.
That's Disney.
Sometimes you got to gamble.
Disney movie. Stop it.
No, you're talking about gambling before. You gamble. You would gamble
Next
with
thing you know, there's going to be like a 9-year-old kid from Harlem, and they're like, hey, you know what? This kid's the starting quarterback. And then you're going to find out his whole backstory. He's got no parents, right? He was raised by his aunt. It's going to be a beautiful story. He's the starting quarterback for the Giants. I mean, what are you talking about? Oh, also, there's a caterpillar that lives on his shoulder and guides him and actually gives him the magic to make all the throws downfield. Chase, that's a Disney movie.
Let's get back.
I want, like, real stuff here is what I'm saying. I want to, like, there's, why can't, seriously? little controversial, but can somebody call Colin Kaepernick for crying out loud? There's so many bad
been
quarterbacks.
doing nothing for like
Dude, what's
so
the,
long.
I mean, listen,
dude.
I think at this point he'll just
If
stand
you
for the
call-
anthem.
No, but
I can't
call
imagine.
Colin Kaepernick
I
before you
can't
call
imagine
Deshaun
Colin
Watson.
would kneel at this point after all we've been through. I think he's a competent quarterback. I'm just saying, dude, there's guys out there that we've seen that are not in the league, and it's like,
So wait, you would call Colin Kaepernick before you called Deshaun Watson?
yes.
Dude, look at the Lions. Look at the Lions. They got the Tim Boyle kid as backup. 1 for 13, 1 touchdown to 13 interceptions at UConn. Somehow found his way. He was a backup at Green Bay and then found his way to Detroit. Like it's the NFL's. There's definitely a lot more politicking going on than there is at actually looking at skill.
What is the quarterback's name in this draft? I think he's from West Wyoming State University or something. He threw for like 10,000 yards and like 300 touchdowns. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Western Kentucky?
Yeah, wherever it is.
That.
Right, dude. I mean, how many quarterbacks have gone to Texas Tech and the Western Wyoming or whatever it is? And they again, you see these guys every couple of years, David Klingler, like they throw for 1,000,000 yards, and it's like, I don't know. Before I call Jacob Fromm, I would want to call like a guy that, I don't know, threw for like 400 touchdowns in 35 games. Maybe it doesn't translate, but
team to a
I don't know.
National championship.
Oh, Jake Fromm is watching this in the weight room.
Why not? That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
Okay. Let's
he
get
didn't
back
lead
on.
the team. The running game did. You know this. The
Let's
defense
get
and the
back.
running game did.
Let's
Jake
get
Fromm
back.
sucks.
Stop.
Let's get back.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry, that's me.
The best bets. We're going on to best bets. And boy, oh boy, look at
who's
who's
creeping.
on top. Let's go.
Why do we get
Sean, you fell below 500, buddy. That's rough. That's rough.
Wait,
Yeah,
how do
see
you
it.
have a tie? What is that? What did you tie on?
It's a push. I took the
Push is a loss.
Bengals -3. No, it's not.
You're 8-7. Get out of here with
No,
that.
it's not.
1. We're playing fractions now.
I agree, Joe.
What are you
Fractions.
A push is a
Yes.
loss, bro.
No, it's not.
This is going to be
Your
under
money
review. We'll
back.
talk about this after the show. That's under review.
Yeah, I think we have a vote.
made a bet.
He's
Which
8-7 as far as I'm concerned.
What?
Same here.
Okay, I'm still in the lead. Okay, cool. I'll
It's a lot
take it.
closer like that. 8-6-1 looks impressive compared to
that's
all
basically a
these records.
2-game lead.
And 8-7 is definitely doable, and that's what you are. All right, this is bad. We got to start nailing these guys. It's called best bet.
I mean,
I was
Sean,
7-2.
Yeah.
It's not
Lost
our
6 in a
fault.
row.
It's not our fault. It's the damn league.
I'll bet you there were people when Sean was 7-2. They're like, I'm just gonna ride this guy for a few weeks, and now they want to murder you.
I don't blame them. No, because I said it in the
Homeless,
in our
lost
group.
their kids' college fund. Thanks, Sean
Yeah.
Scanlon.
I said it in the group chat. I was like, I'm 7-2. Right when it happened, I was like, you just gotta ride my bets out. And I'm sure whoever's been doing that, they either lost their house or their or kids' tuition or something.
Their
So
house?
I apologize.
A lot of families aren't having Christmas this year because Sean Scanlon's best bets have been sucky for 6 weeks in a row.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
it's unfortunate.
That's
alright.
terrible.
Zay, you got a bet for tomorrow. You got the Niners -3.5 against the Titans. I actually like that.
I'm gonna be honest. Tennessee sucks. I'm just gonna say it. I'm sorry. Ryan Tannehill. What scares me, I think that's Daniel Jones' ceiling. That the best he can get is to beat Ryan Tannehill for us. I'm sorry to say that. That's why I'm ready to move on from him. But they just don't have it. They don't play well against good teams. They only play well against the bad teams so far. And the 49ers are probably the hottest team in football. If you get them in the playoffs, you might be in trouble. They're getting hot at the right time. Like all the criticism at the beginning of the year of the quarterback position, who was going to play it and who wasn't, and Jimmy just stuck with it, and he's got his team back in it, even when it looked ugly. And like I said, they're probably the hottest team in football right now. So I'm going to ride this 49er thing out, see how it goes for me. And plus, I'm done betting on against teams that, should just lose, like the Ravens last week, because no clue Tyler Huntley was going to shoot his load the week I pick against them. So hopefully the Titans don't.
Beast, baby. Utah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sure. That's why he backs up.
Utah product, baby. But no, yeah, Ryan Tannehill. I mean, we talked before the season that coming into the season he was like a top 10 quarterback. But I mean, when you lose Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and Julio Jones, it's hard to be good when you got nothing else around you, right? So
No, but Ryan Tannehill doesn't get the pass that other guys get, so he sucks. He's a bum. He's washed up. Let's move on.
No. He got his criticism.
Am I wrong?
He got his criticism
Am I
in Miami.
wrong?
He got his criticism in Miami.
And then he resurrected his career. We were talking about him being a top 10 quarterback, and all his weapons are out, and he's still in the thick of the playoffs. Got a better record than Lamar Jackson does, and yet we criticize him. I'm just saying.
The thing is, he wasn't doing much with the weapons too. Even when he had weapons, they lost to teams like the Jets. So it's not like he was doing it without it. When he had his weapons, they were winning. When he didn't have, they lost too.
They're 9-4. You're going to lose some games. The 86 Giants lost to the Green Bay Packers, for Christ's sake. That happens. The Packers sucked back in the old days. You guys don't know this.
All right.
Pre-Brett Favre, Don Majowski was the quarterback.
1950?
Big Donnie. How could I forget?
No, but I do think the Niners are one of those teams. Yeah, they're starting to click right now. But also, I mean,
wait till Garoppolo gets hurt this week.
Maybe. But then
over.
Also the Titans.
Why my bet? I'm already losing. Why do you have to do that? Just let it be. I'm already the lowest in bets. Why do you have to do that? Just let it be. I don't. All right, cool.
But the Titans, like, if they do get everyone back for the playoffs, that's going to be a team no one wants to see that first round.
If
I mean,
I meant to start Jeff Wilson Jr. last week in my fantasy league, and I didn't. And of course, he did exactly what I knew he was going to do. And the reason I wanted to start him, he ran for 100 yards and 20 points in fantasy.
Yeah. All right.
This week he'll get 3 carries, so don't start him. I know how that works now.
Yeah, they've been using Deebo Samuel as their running back sometimes as well. It's wild. But all right. The champ, sticking with the overs, baby. Bills at Patriots. Give me the over 43.5. This ain't going to be – there's no wild wins in this game. There's no craziness. I think Josh Allen lights it up. I think it's going to be a shootout. I mean, and not necessarily a shootout, but I do think both teams are going to score over 20. I think it will be close. I have the Bills.
I got this down as a 22-21 game.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I see it the same way.
I'm not going to do that to you, Jace. You're going to get the over. I'll never touch these two teams again in a game. But yeah,
I've been killing. I'm what, 3 in a row, maybe 4, 3 in a row.
Now I feel like the Patriots win this one 23-20.
Oh, do they
throw the last second field goal?
Do they throw the ball this time?
I almost took this one.
Yeah, because it's gonna work. It's gonna work.
I'm definitely betting the under on this. After all I just said, I have to.
Okay. All right, do it.
54 points.
Do it.
That point 54 Mac Jones put up last game.
Dude, if it ends up 23-20, you guys know I'm going to blow your phone up all night. You're not gonna sleep.
Oh my God.
Every 20 minutes or so, I'm just going to be like 23-20, boys. Should have took the under.
Oh my gosh. My fist is going through my TV if that happens. That's going to be rough. But all right, Sean, you stealing a little bit of my magic maybe? Going with the over.
I'd been doing spreads pretty much all year. The first bet of the year, I did Cardinals Titans over, didn't hit, but obviously this losing streak hasn't been good, so I'm staying away from the spreads. I'm gonna go pretty much with my fantasy lock strategy, where I'm just gonna stick with this one for the rest of the season. It might be a little late, but I'm just gonna do strictly overs. So I like this one a lot. I think the Chiefs' offense is starting to figure it out a little bit. Steelers' offense, I feel like. Per usual, they're gonna have a slow start in the first half, and then they'll start to pick it up in the second half. So I see a lot of points coming from this one. So smash the over on Steelers Chiefs. Do I feel confident saying that? Nope. But you gotta switch up the strategy at some point, and I got a good feeling about this one.
Chiefs without Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
fine.
All right.
Love it.
Okay.
Drastic, sure.
All right.
That's even better. The Steelers' run defense is terrible. Big Clyde Edwards-Helaire game. Just get some scores in the red zone. Steelers will start off slow, start scoring in the second half, and we'll get over 44.5. That's what's going to happen.
All right. I'm with you, Sean. Let's get it.
Thanks, Jace.
I'm gonna parlay both our overs together. Let's go. Let's get it.
I bet Ravens-Packers last week, the over, and a hit.
Let's go. The overs are just killing it. Let's go. All right, now Joe. Not quite an over, but I think it's got to hit the over to cover the 10-point spread.
Yeah, the Chargers will score in the 30s, and the Texans might not score, period. So
Hope the Texans shoot they load and catch 3 interceptions.
yeah, like a 30-17 seems likely in this one, something like that, 35-20, but they'll beat them by 10. That's a given.
I hope the Texans shoot they load. Davis Mills goes off for nothing, and they lose 9-0.
I was actually going to pick up Mills on my fantasy team today. I was thinking a little bit about that, keeping him long term, stashing him away. Good kid. I don't hope he has a good game. Yeah, this is a safe bet. I think everybody knows it. I know you want to criticize it to be funny, but there's nothing to really say here.
No, yeah, I mean Chargers do have a bunch of people with COVID. So
yep, they're all better now. Everybody got their test back clean. Everybody's feeling good. Keenan Allen, he's back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. Speaking of Keenan Allen, Joe, you got him for your fantasy locks, but first, that's what the scoreboard looks like. Boys, hey, it's close.
How am I losing? This is
how do we both pick James Conner? How is that even allowed? I'll just take a 0 on mine instead.
All right, I'll take Joe's 9 points. Give me 18.
Oh my goodness.
You still would be in third place if that happened. If I gave you the 9 points.
Yeah, but not by much.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, it's still a tight race. We've had some great weeks, but we've also had a lot of dud weeks. So anything can really happen with fantasy locks. This is, like I said, I mean, me and Sean was out of it for most of the year. I joined them at the bottom. Zay and Joe, you guys just shot yourselves in the foot, I guess.
Oh my God, you're up by half a point.
I know he's so.
No,
insane.
but I was out of it.
Gosh.
I have an announcement to make.
Yeah,
I have to go.
Okay.
I have to go. Unfortunately, that's my lock. I'm pretty sure Keenan Allen's back and activated this week, and with that, I think he's going to have a huge game. All that said, unfortunately, there are some elves I have to tend to, and so I will wish you all a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you back here next week. So I'll hold off on the Happy New Year wishes. But thank you to everybody who watches the show and participates, and you guys for being on it, and Jace for all the stuff that you do to make this one happen. Keenan Allen, though, lock it in, baby. I'm coming.
All right, take care. All right. Keenan Allen, I like that. But all right, and I'm sticking with Thursday. I got Deebo Samuel. I've only picked one wide receiver this whole year, and it was Michael Pittman, and he did terrible that week. So
Sheesh.
I need to redeem myself. So why not pick a wide receiver who's been running the football pretty damn well? So yeah, Deebo Samuel. I mean, it's crazy. That has really been what's changed their season around, putting him at running back, having him help out because he's a stud, he's a beast, and I think he lights up this Titans defense. But Sean, sticking with the running backs, James didn't work out too well for you last week, but you think James Robinson can redeem the name of the James?
Yeah, Robinson's going to be the superior James. It's going to happen. Jets' run defense is awful. And now that Urban Meyer is gone, he wasn't a big James Robinson fan. Was giving Carlos Hyde a lot more carries, but now I think James Robinson's gonna be pissed off about that. Urban Meyer's out of his way, so now he can just focus on himself. He's obviously the best player in the offense, so feed him the rock against a terrible run defense from the Jets. And James, get me back in this race. I'm down 10, so you give me 20, 25 points. I'll be fine with it. So superior James getting the job done.
Yeah,
Against today's Jets.
I think anything can happen, right? Anything can happen, and I do think James Robinson should have a big game. But damn, I'm sad Joe's gone for this. Zay,
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
I love it.
See, what happens is similar to Jim Harbaugh or John, whichever one. When you kind of up in the lead, you know, you got a couple of throwaway weeks when you're this far. So I got a throwaway week. I can go for it on two, not risk the overtime. I can go for it here. So I'm gonna play Jake Fromm because even if he gets me 10 points, y'all still wouldn't catch me. I'd still be in the lead.
I'm in the lead.
Watch the Giants start Mike Glennon.
Chase, you're in the lead by like half a point. Relax, bro. I'm taking it back next week. It's been flip flopping. It's been great, but I'm taking it. This is the one thing I'm going to win. This is the one thing I'm going to win this year. And I got to throw away.
Not if you're picking Jake Fromm.
I got a throwaway week. And against the Eagles, watch what's going to happen. Y'all going to be surprised. Y'all going to be shocked.
This is going to come back to bite you.
That is. I said I had a throwaway week when I picked the Gronk and he didn't play. And then Sean caught up to me. And I was lucky enough I did it early enough.
Gronk didn't play.
Came all the way back.
Fromm is going to play. And if he gets ruled out, I'll switch it before it happens.
Oh, no, you're on the tape, brother. You're on the tape.
I can't switch if he don't play? All right, cool. So
you're on the tape. I didn't switch Gronk.
I guess I gotta pray. He'll play though.
We can't talk him out of it now.
Oh my
God. We gotta keep it.
I'm keeping it. I'm going for it.
With that
10-point game. Keep me back in the lead, Sanders. It'll keep me in the lead. Oh, give me the lead.
So you think Deebo Samuel's going to have less? So if Jake Fromm has 8-10 points, Deebo Samuel's only going to have 8. And that would just be a tie. So Deebo Samuel's
going to happen. I can't assume. It's hindsight. I can't look that far. It's just like going forward. It's just like going forward or going to overtime. I can't tell you what's going to happen. You can only let it happen. See what happens. I'm not going to make no prediction.
But you're going to.
If he has the game of his life, then guess what? I look like a genius. If he has the dud of his life, I look like I'm a moron. That's how it's going to end. That's just how it goes.
Go ahead. I like that.
Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns, people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love it when I have been a big. I mean, if Jared's still in here, Megan Anderson, you either take it you either look like a genius or you're okay looking like an idiot.
I thought CD was going to be a great pick against the Giants. You would have thought he would have went off for a couple of touchdowns. Only got 11 points. It happens. It happens.
It does indeed happen. All right, that's going to do it for John about the G-Men this week. Joe already said all the good things, but yeah, big Merry Christmas to you guys. Big shout out to CTBB Realty and JPEX Financial for sponsoring today's episode. And make sure you guys like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to Clovercrest Media as well. Make sure you check out Clovercrest Media Group on Twitch. And for more information and more podcasts, visit clovercrestmedia.com. Not just sports podcasts, got true crime, political, even realty podcasts. Make sure you check that out. But for myself, Big Jace, Sean Sandlin, King Zay, that's going to do it for John about the G-Men. We'll see you next week to talk more Giants football. And probably going to be another loss. But
ordering my Jake Fromm jersey right now.
All right. Jeez. All right. We'll catch you next
Merry
week.
Christmas.
The Giants are running New York like the times as Danny is dropping all sorts of dimes. Saquon's thighs are ruining defenses' lives and Leonard Williams making opposing QBs feel him. Receivers think it's scary to line up across James Bradbury, and the Giants have a bright future led by Coach Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Tune in to Drawing About the G-Men every Wednesday at 6, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hello, my My name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.